All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the Midnight Madness live stream that just came out earlier today. I want to provide my initial reactions, thoughts, things that I liked, things that maybe I wasn't as big of a fan of, all those sorts of things, and provide that in one video for you. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, overarching what was the meat and potatoes of this live stream? Well, in the past, we have had more bigger overarching live streams. In December, we had the Ranger archetype. In January, we had the combat preview, the Caravan PvP showcase. And even last month, we had the fighter showcase where we did most things fighter related, right? So it was like one big thing, maybe a couple of small things. This month was different. They showed us a bunch of smaller things. And it came from a point of view of big things that the community wanted to change. Now, I've talked about it on our Voices of Verra podcast with Nice Gaming. We've talked about this quite a bit. I probably even talked about it last week and the week before. But if you guys have heard this before, let me reiterate it before we dive into the live stream. But there have been questions about lighting and where lighting is at in Alpha 2 and how there should be improvements. There have been people that have talked about, hey, like the skill trees for the Ranger and even the fighter, they're very bare bones right now. They're obviously working on them, but they're a work in progress. Hopefully they're a little bit more expansive, right? So there's been that discussion. There's been discussions about how we've only seen the Riverlands. And so are there any other biomes that are readily available? Is Alpha 2 only going to have one biome, or is it going to have more than one? On top of that, we've also got the question about, are some of the mage skills going to be overworked? Like, so the Ball of Lightning skill has been way too bright. It's been my point of view that skill in a large scale PvP setting is going to be way too bright and overpowering. And so, Intrepid has heard our feedback on these things. They've been listening loud and clear, and they decided to do a live stream showcasing all of the improvements they've made off of community feedback. And so they went through, and it was nighttime. And so we first got to see what nighttime in Verra for Ashes of Creation is going to look like. And in my opinion, it looks markedly better. I think it looks a lot better than what it has in the past. Obviously, this is pre-alpha 2. I'm not going to say this makes or breaks the game, but it's nice to see them making these sorts of improvements. They then went into discussion on the wand skill tree. And then we got to see some wand combinations. And so they showcased some new fireball skills, which were fantastic. But then they also showed how much more in depth the wand weapon tree will be. And so I thought this was fantastic because we haven't seen this yet for a weapon. We saw it for the Ranger archetype, we saw it for the fighter archetype, but now we're seeing it for weapons as well. And for a guy that loves to play a bunch of different builds, that loves to play a bunch of different play styles, having this combination of up to 64 different classes with multiple different weapons with this immersive of a weapon skill tree means that there is potentially a lot of different ways to play. And when there are a lot of different ways to play, you get a lot of very fun and creative builds. My entire thing with playing a game for a long time is I want to have different play styles that make the game feel different. I want the game to, each time I play a different build, I don't want it to feel like the exact same one. That's how you end up like getting bored. And so this type of build diversity, this breadth of different skills and abilities and different elemental animations. They showed fireballs today. Previously, they've only showed lightning. I think it's fantastic. I think this is fantastic. It really opens up the theory crafting content creator in me, and so I'm very excited that they're going this far into this because I love to just sit at a dummy and test different skills and abilities all day. So the fact that this will be a thing is really, this is one of the best things that they showed, in my opinion. They also talked about in the Q&A afterwards that different elements will combine and do more damage. And so certain elements will provide a status effect, and then if you hit with another element afterwards, it will do more damage. And so let's say hypothetically, this is just a hypothetical example, guys, but let's say you hit them with water somehow, right? And they now have like some sort of water effect. If you hit them with lightning afterwards, it will now compound and do more damage because lightning is magnified by water. I'm not saying that they have water skills or anything like that. This isn't Airbender. I'm just providing a hypothetical. And so I've seen this already with games like Baldur's Gate, where you can do different types of interactions like this. And so that opens diversity for your different groups out there. So you can potentially all scale into one specific thing and have one amplifier of a group. And so you can really stack into this type of damage, which I think is really cool. It opens up opportunities for like I said, playing different play styles and also having your group stand out and be different. How often have you engaged and been in a large scale group situation and more or less your 12-man group comp is the same as somebody else's 12-man group comp? It's always felt like, right? And so this opens up the potential opportunity for people to try different playstyles. So if you're out there and you see one specific playstyle in a rock, paper, scissors environment, you can provide a very hard counter to that playstyle. And with the amount of diversity that they have with this system, it opens up a shit ton of opportunities. And so, yeah, everything will have to be balanced. Everything will have to be relatively close in order to do so. But this was fantastic. I thought this was, like I said, I thought this was great. Going a little bit further into it, they did make changes to Ball of Lightning. I've talked about this in the past myself, that I thought that the Ball of Lightning skill was a little bit too bright in the past. I thought that in a large scale situation where you're going to have 100v100 battles, 200v200, 250v250, but it's supposed to be up to 250v250 right now. If you have 4 or 5 mages in a choke point launching these things, you're not going to be able to see anything. And so I do think that the lighting change needed to be diminished a little bit so it wasn't so bright, and they made a marked change to this. Now, personally, I still want to see it during the daytime. This is obviously a nighttime live stream, and so I'm not going to comment too much about that, but I want to see this Ball of Lightning during the daytime as well, just to see if it's still overpowering during the day. At night, obviously, like it stands out a little bit more at night, which makes sense. During the day, is it a little bit more diminished? Would be my question on it. But overall, obviously, a marked change and improvement in the right direction, and I think that's fantastic. And then finally, we got to see the Sandsquall Desert. We have been in the Riverlands for months now, and there has been a steady drumbeat in the community about how people wanted to see another biome, if they were worried if, not me guys, this isn't me, this is just me reading comments. People were worried about if this game is vaporware. We've only been seeing one biome for a very long time. What's going on with the other biomes? During Alpha 2, there's supposed to be 3 biomes coming out. We've only seen 1 for so long. Why are the other 2 not being showcased? What is going on with the other 2 biomes? And so there's been that apprehensiveness in the back of people's minds, like, hey, why aren't we getting shown this? Which is understandable. This is the MMORPG space. There are scams abound, scam games abound. I don't think Ashes of Creation is this way, but I understand why people would have this type of concern. And so it's good to see Intrepid get out ahead of this, and they go out and they show the biomes that are still available. And so we got to see the Sandsquall Desert. We got to see the Sandsquall Desert at nighttime. We got to see different wand combinations, skill combinations, which I thought was fantastic. And then overall, my overarching point of view on this is I thought this was a good live stream. I don't think this is going to be live stream of the year. The running joke, well, it's not a joke, but every month this year has been better than the last live stream, in my opinion. And so February was better than January, March was better than February, so on and so forth. This is where it comes to an end for me. I think the Fighter Showcase was the best live stream of the year so far. This was a very good live stream. But yeah, at some point you can't keep topping yourself, Intrepid. But this is a very good live stream. I do also want to say that part of the reason why I've supported Ashes of Creation and Intrepid Studios is because from early on, they really listen to their community base. They listen to the player base. They really listen to the community on this. And so I've seen so many times where they come out with an iteration or something during a live stream, it gets changed, it gets adjusted, and then they make improvements off of feedback from the community. This is very rare for me in the video gaming industry. There's very few games out there that I like, that listen to the community and provide feedback and iterations. The best examples I can provide off the top of my head are like Baldur's Gate, which won Game of the Year, Fortnite, which you guys don't have to like Fortnite, but they do things for the player base all of the time. And so really good games are games that do these things, and you can see early on that this is a gaming studio that listens to the player base. And so I can't stress enough how much I enjoy this. I can't stress enough how much I enjoy that they show like, hey, we're listening to your feedback on literally every major point that you've been making for the last 4 months. Here are all the changes that that you guys have asked for. And so I that's why I like the stream. I like the stream because it's literally listening to community feedback. And so yeah, this wasn't a big all-encompassing stream like we've been used to over the last few months, but it was a really good feedback thing. It was a really good feedback stream. And also, DA from Envious mentioned this in a podcast in the past, that oftentimes when Intrepid does videos like this, they're building up for a larger stream later on. They need a few months to prepare for it. And lo and behold, Steven even announced before we got to see this video that that's exactly what they're doing. They have a big system to show us next month. And so I think that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to next month's. I liked this month's, but yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. As always, I will do my best to answer it. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.